Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Deepika. So many of us these days keep worrying about the economic recession that is likely to happen because of the COVID-19 lockdown, because of the economic fallout that is happening around the countries in the world. And so many of us keep worrying about the dollar rate, the investments, and so on and on and on regarding the economy. But have you ever wondered as to what is the reason behind the fluctuations in the dollar rate? 10 years back, if you would have considered, $1 rate was just 50 rupees, but now it is close to 75 Indian rupees, and not other countries I'm talking about. I'm just considering only Indian currency. So $1 is close to 75 Indian rupees today. And have you ever considered the reason behind the fluctuation in the dollar rate? That is what I'm going to be talking about in this video, so please do continue watching. Let me illustrate pricing with an example before understanding the fluctuation in the dollar rate. These two are the products that I'm producing in my country. One is tomato and the other one is onions. Let us consider this to be 1 kg of tomatoes and this to be 1 kg of onions. Before money was used as a mode of buying commodities, there was an exchange between the commodities to buy them. So for example, if I need 1 kg of onions, which is of higher demand, I will be giving 1 kg of tomatoes in exchange to buy onions. But this is not going to be useful if the demand of this particular product and the value of this particular product is more. So that is the reason money was used. So I bought 1 kg of tomatoes for 10 rupees and 1 kg of onions for 20 rupees. So based on the demand and the value of the product, the value of money was introduced. So now there is a third party intervention called as money to buy the commodities or the products that I'm producing. So to buy any of the products based on the demand of the season. For example, during summers, tomato will be of higher demand. During winters, onions will be of higher demand, and based on the demand, the price of the product will be set. So to buy products of different seasons or based on different demands, I'm going to have money and I'm going to reserve the money in my bank. I'm going to save the money in my bank to buy the commodities that I will be needing of based on the season. So this will be the intermediate forum. Similarly, for exchanging commodities between different countries around the world, there is going to be a medium called US dollars. The currency is going to be in US denomination, because if I have to buy something from Malaysia, I need ringgits. If I have to buy something from China, I need yuan. If I have to buy something from Europe, euros. US dollars is dollars, or Singapore dollars, or Australian dollars. I will be needing these many different currency rates to buy products from those countries. So that is the reason I'm stabilizing it with a common US currency. This is not US currency though, it's just for illustration purpose. So I'm going to be using US dollars to buy any of the currencies from any of the country from around the world. I'm going to import the products into my country. So this is called trading. I'm importing the products from other countries into my country by buying it with a common denominated currency, US dollars. And I'm going to export the products also that are being produced in my country to other countries with the same US denominated currency and not Indian rupees. That is the reason there was one common mode of payment for imports and exports through US dollars, and that is the reason why Reserve Bank of India started reserving the US dollars by buying the US dollars. Say for example, 10 years back, the Reserve Bank of India would have purchased US dollars for 50 rupees when the dollar rate was 50 rupees. So for 2 US dollars, I'm going to buy with 100 rupees. Like 5-10 years back, I would have bought that, and I am reserving it in my reserved bank. So whenever I'm going to import or export commodities between the countries, I'm going to be using US dollars, which I bought for 100 Indian rupees. But now there is a fluctuation, and that is what I'm going to be explaining as to why there is a fluctuation. Say for example, the same tomato example that we discussed earlier. I have a kg of tomato, but that is not going to be enough for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import from other countries. That is when the import policy comes into picture. Say for example, I'm going to import tomatoes from Malaysia. So I'm not going to be using ringgits for the same, but I'm going to be using US dollars because that is the common mode of payment. and say for example I am buying 2 more kgs of tomatoes from Malaysia, I'm going to pay $2 more for them and I'm going to buy the product. But say for example Malaysia is also out of stock and I have to buy the same product today from US, because US is the major exporter of tomatoes now. Let us consider the fact. But now the value of the tomatoes kept increasing, and thus the price of tomatoes also have increased. But I'm going to buy the tomatoes from the US with US dollars only, not with 100 rupees that I have got the US dollars. But now I'm going to pay 150 rupees because the US dollars value is 75 rupees today. I'm going to buy for 150 rupees the same tomatoes today with the same US dollars that I bought for 100 rupees. So I bought the US dollars for 100 rupees, but I'm now going to spend the US dollars with 75 Indian rupees. So this is how there is a fluctuation in the cost of the US dollars. When there is a high demand of the product, the value of money keeps increasing. That is what I explained with the onion tomato example as well. When there is a high demand for the product, the price keeps increasing. And all of a sudden, why is there an increase? So it's not with tomatoes or onions, so it's going to be with real-time examples. Say for example, I'm buying iPhones predominantly. Almost like most of the Indians are using iPhones these days, which are being produced in the US, and I'm going to buy the products which are being produced in the US with Indian rupees. So that is definitely going to be costlier than buying the iPhones in the US itself, because the fluctuation of the exchange rate happens in India because of the demand and supply of the products. 10 years back, we wouldn't have been like using iPhones as much as we are using now. So thus we are importing a lot of iPhones into our country. So this also leads to a fluctuation in the exchange rate between US dollars and Indian rupees. This is one of the examples. Like, this is not only because of iPhones, it's because of so many modes of commodities that we are purchasing every single day from all the other countries. So this is not only determined by the imports that we are doing from US, we are importing so many products from so many different countries with the consistent US dollars in place. In order to make the value of the Indian rupees appreciate, that is increase, we cannot stop importing things and we cannot stop using such things from the other parts of the world. But what we can do is we have to start investing in Indian products, and we have to start consuming Indian products more than importing and consuming other products from other parts of the world. So this can definitely lead to an appreciation in the Indian rupees and depreciation of the US dollar value, and thus we can definitely claim to become one of the strongest economies in the recent times. With this note, let me end today's video. Thanks for watching. Please continue watching my upcoming videos on different information regarding the economy. Please do subscribe, like and share as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.